those that want people to believe that you want retribution, that you will use the system of justice to go after your political enemies.
Maybe smash a few things along the way.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. This is America, not the Galactic Senate in Star Wars, yet we still have members of Congress that are named Shri Thanedar. Shri Thanedar. Speaking of somebody who probably deserves to be hit by the Death Star, Shri Thanedar has faced allegations of neglect tied to a 2010 incident involving a now defunct pharmaceutical testing facility in which he killed hundreds of dogs. His lab went bankrupt. Over 170 animals, including 118 beagles and 55 long-tailed monkeys, were left behind. Required rescue by animal welfare groups. Report indicate that no official caretakers, former employees scaled fences to feed and water the animals until animal rights activists intervened. This guy is a monster. Of course, he's the individual who ran this pharma testing lab. India-born Democrat Representative Shri Thanedar is facing renewed backlash over 2010 animal cruelty controversy that should have landed him in jail. Instead, he's a Democrat, so he's landed in Congress. And he's trying to impeach Donald Trump. Anyway, he produces these extremely cringe videos. He also has drawn on marker eyebrows. Nobody's quite sure why. But it makes for a good meme. Nonetheless, he was on Sean Hannity's show last night, and it might be like the first time ever that I'm telling you have to watch the Sean Hannity clip. And no hate to Sean Hannity at all. I'm just saying that it's like not normally the show where you get, flamethrower clips from. That's just not like Hannity's style. Until he had Shri Thanedar on and noted that Shiri didn't stand up and applaud for Laken Riley and his called for the defunding of ICE, even though he was born in India and is like just got to America, but nonetheless he's calling for the defunding of immigration services. Obviously, you know why. And Shiri doesn't even applaud, or ever call any individuals who've been killed or murdered or raped by illegal aliens in this country. Again, I'm sure you know why, because Democrats need them in order to win elections. So here's Shiri getting totally disemboweled by
with us. All right, just to be clear,
really well done here, Sean.
The president's joint session speech when he honored the family of Laken Riley, murdered 24-year-old nursing student, murdered by an unvetted illegal immigrant, and honored little Jocelyn Nungary's family, brutally raped and murdered a 12-year-old girl. Did you stand? Did you give honor to that family that lost so much?
Look, Sean, thanks for having me.
I don't need the thanks. Did you stand or not? Did you stand to honor those families?
I did not stand because the president.
You sat on your ass.
I was just sick of the president.
So I want to be clear.
I did not.
You sat on your ass, and you wouldn't stand for families that lost children. A 12-year-old girl raped and murdered, and you couldn't stand for them because you were playing politics. Is that right? I want this audience to know.
Look, I would not stand for this president. I would not stand for this president. He was lying.
You weren't standing for
boasting.
them. You were standing for the families that lost little girls that were murdered by the illegal immigrants that you want to remain in the country. Is that true or false?
Look, this president was using a tragedy.
I'm not talking about it.
Riley's death.
What about those families? Have you ever picked up a phone? Because there are thousands of Americans that have been murdered and raped and victims of violent crime. Have you ever spoken to any? Have you ever called them to offer your condolences? Name one family. Name one family.
Look, every immigrant, everyone must follow American laws.
Have you ever picked up a phone and called a victim's family?
Look, I talk to my constituents all the time.
Not a hard question. Not hard.
Yeah, I do.
Have you ever picked up your phone and called them? Have you done that one time?
Look, I talk with my constituents all the time. My constituents are being terrorized by ICE. ICE is
Have
on,
you ever
streets
called an American family that has been a victim, murdered, raped, tortured by an illegal immigrant? Yes or no, Congressman? Did you ever call them?
I have met people.
I am sure I have met people.
I am sure I have met people. So if you have a congressman, make sure
we must reform
right?
ICE, but it looks at this stage, folks, ICE is beyond reform. ICE is totally out of control, and this week I intend to introduce a bill to abolish ICE.
Okay. Yeah, right. Okay, pal. You know, like I'm done with these people who have who just got to America and are sitting here screaming at our country like how to run our nation. I am so sick of that. Like, I just couldn't imagine like traveling for the first time to China. I've never been to China. I don't want to go to China, but like, let's just say I went to another, like a superpower. China's a superpower. China's a very profitable, strong country. They have their own way of doing things. And I just like the first thing I did as a guest in China. China would never let me enter, like run for office, or like I'm not even allowed to become a citizen of China. They have a closed, homogeneous society, right? They don't let people who aren't Chinese into their society. And you certainly would never be allowed in politics. And could you imagine, though, if I was sit there and the first thing I did was start like lecturing Chinese people who've been there for thousands of years, like how stupid they are, and then saying that the law enforcement agencies that keep China safe need to all be disbanded and abolished, and I'm going to be the one to do it. It's like unspeakable. They deserve, I mean, they really do deserve, like, they deserve to get called out like that. And Sean Hannity did an amazing job. It's grotesque. Ilhan Omar does this kind of stuff every single day. Yeah, this is, it's something that I just can't believe is still allowed to happen in this country. We all have our limits, you know? And then maybe this was mine. Sean Hannity getting roundly applauded all throughout the internet for this. Absolute lashing is what is being called. Holy crap, he got pummeled on live TV. The most qualified liar, cheater, and sycophant. We can find out where he is today. How is this clown a representative? Ask him about the beagles. Obviously, he tortured beagles. Some funny memes. He does have drawn on permanent marker eyebrows. This is the dude trying to impeach Trump with a bunch of furries. Oh, no. Oh, no. Don't ask too many questions. This is the end of Toupee's career. Sean Hannity, Democrat Congressman Shri Thanedar on tonight. I like the quotes here, ALX. It went exactly as you'd expect. This is disgusting. Asked if you voted against a bill to deport illegals convicted of sex crimes. Do you regret that? He says, no. What if your daughter was raped? Look, he says, look. Okay. Here you go. Here's this exchange, final exchange. Look, it's indefensible. People are indefensible. So I'm glad I don't have to defend them. Good job, Sean. Here you go.
That's not what you said. Sir, you voted against a bill that mandated the deportation of illegals convicted of sex crimes. Do you regret that vote now?
No, I don't regret that vote. Look, no bill is perfect, and many times...
What if it was your wife, your sister, your daughter that was raped? That's a sex crime. You want that person to stay?
Look, there are multiple things in a bill. I don't agree with every one of them.
Sir, you got to answer the question. If your wife, your daughter, your girlfriend, mother was raped by an illegal immigrant, you voted against a bill that would deport these illegals convicted of sex crimes. You're perfectly fine if they stay in the country.
Sean, look, I serve in Congress. I don't think you ever served in Congress. That's what you voted on, though, right? Most of the bills. Look, most of these bills are not perfect bills.
Why did you vote for that? Why would you allow sex crime convicts to stay in the country that entered the country illegally? Why would you vote for that?
It was not, the bill did not just include that issue. There were other things in the bill, and So I cannot pick and choose. I don't have a veto where I can strike out one portion of a bill.
You would have voted against it otherwise? What was the big provision that prevented you from kicking these people out of our country?
Look, I don't memorize. I vote on thousands of bills.
Memorize. You don't know anything.
But look, I do believe that such criminals must be deported. There is no doubt about it.
Well, you voted against it. So obviously you don't.